She stole my baby! A shriek slices through Dakala Central Rail Hub. Commuters freeze, phones swing up like reflexes. A Duke Falomo stands near Platform 7, a swaddled newborn in her arms, eyes wide at the sea of lenses. A rail officer barrels over, boots clanging on tile. He grabs a Duke's elbow. The baby wails louder. Someone's stream captions lag behind the chaos. Influencer Bankole Adisa is already live, front camera on. Neon sneakers squeak as he pivots for the best angle. Viewers, stay locked. This is breaking right now. Lieutenant Colonel Thandi Ndlovu strides in, uniform crisp, voice steady. Clear a path. She motions 2 officers forward. A Duke doesn't resist, but her grip on the infant tightens. An elderly vendor blocks the aisle with a cooler of bottled water. One officer bumps it. Bottles scatter and roll under benches. The delay lets the crowd press closer. Thandi snaps, "Zone this area. Cordons now." Yellow tape unfurls, yet Bankole's audience count climbs. Kevwe Omarui slips past a distracted guard, GoCam blinking red. She skirts the tape edge, crouches low, capturing a Duke's stained blouse. The maroon blotch spreads over light blue cotton. An onlooker shouts, "Blood! Check the child!" Another phone flashlight beams into the bundle. The infant's romper is spotless. Thandi signals. 2 female constables approach. One supports the baby's neck. The other clicks cuffs onto a Duke's wrists. Metal clang echoes. A Duke's shoulders slump. She adjusts the baby's blanket even while her hands are tethered. Flashbulbs pop from every direction. Bankole narrates, "Suspect detained. Rail police moving quick today." He swipes at his screen, eyeing comment floods, crying emojis, fire emojis, demands for justice. Thandi lifts her radio. "Holding room 3, and find medical for the child." Static crackles back, overloaded network delaying the reply. A transport security drone hovers overhead. Its speaker squawks, "Keep exits clear." The drone's camera feeds to the station control room, but pixelation mars half the image. Officers guide a Duke through the tunnel connecting platforms. Commuters lean over rails for vantage. Someone claps, someone else curses. Noise layers and ricochets. Kevwe paces alongside, rolling live commentary. "Notice the discrepancy, folks. The blouse is soaked, but the baby's clean. Something's off." Sudden jolt. The tunnel lights flicker, momentary power dip that blacks out streams for 4 seconds. Bankole curses under breath, reconnects before viewers bail. On the concourse, a paramedic kneels beside a slumped woman on bench C12. Her head lolls, eyes half open. No pulse. A thin paper wristband reads Golden Cradle Clinic. Thandi hears the paramedics call and pivots. Scene 2. Officers split. She breaks from the escort, leaves a sergeant to finish the walk to holding. The baby hiccups, tiny fists waving. A Duke whispers to the constable beside her, blanket slipping. The officer hesitates, then tucks the fabric gently. In the control room upstairs, a technician rewinds CCTV. Glitch. 3-minute segment corrupted. Timestamp 14:02 to 14:05. He mutters, slaps the console. Kevwe darts up the metal stairs. Door keypad beeps red, unauthorized. She holds up press badge with a grin. The guard shakes his head. No entry. Back on the bench, the paramedic checks under the deceased woman's nails. Clean, no sign of struggle. He looks at Thandi. Likely collapsed, Colonel. Need coroner. Thandi notes the blood smear on the woman's forearm, matching a Duke's blouse shade. She snaps a quick photo on her work phone before evidence techs arrive. Bankole angles his stream between railings. View count passes 200,000. Adds auto-insert. The chat rants about black market trafficking, corruption, everything. A Duke and the baby reach holding room 3. Fluorescent bulb flickers overhead. The sergeant removes cuffs from one wrist to allow bottle feeding. No formula on hand. A junior officer jogs in with a disposable bottle from a kiosk. He trips on a loose tile. Bottle flies, bursts, milk splattering wall and floor. The baby starts screaming again. Sergeant sighs, radio's supply desk. Need replacement feed, stat. Response drags, vending machines sold out after morning rush. In the concourse, crowd density hits capacity. Station loudspeakers announce platform changes drowned by chatter. A push of commuters swarms near bench C12 trying to record the covered body. Thandi orders a tarp erected to shield the scene. Barriers clatter in place, yet phone cameras still peep through gaps. One teenager tosses a coin, hoping to flip the tarp corner for a shot. Control room technician finally patches CCTV around the corrupted section. He pulls a lower-resolution backup camera. Playback shows the woman stagger, collapse, baby in arms. Frame freezes just before a passerby approaches, pixels too blocky to ID. He prints stills, ink streaks on one, printer low. He slaps cartridge, tries again. Second copy clear enough for facial comparison. Thandi receives the printout. She studies the blurry figure bending toward the woman. Angle hides the face. Height and build could match a Duke or 10 other passengers. Bankol's stream catches Thandi walking toward Holding. Viewers spam, "Who's on the bench?" He ignores, toggles camera to selfie and breathes deep, deciding what to say next. Kevwi finds a power outlet behind a soda dispenser. She plugs in laptop, hotspot chokes under traffic. She switches to a prepaid SIM, uploads a 30-second clip titled "Blood Mismatch." Compression lowers quality, but the question hooks subscribers fast. Inside Holding, a Duke rocks the baby side to side. Sergeant finally returns with powdered formula packets and lukewarm tap water. He preps it in a paper cup, improvises a straw. Liquid dribbles, but at least the cries soften. Door opens. Thandi steps in, closes it behind her. She places the CCTV still on the table. A Duke lifts her gaze, eyes darting from printout to the colonel's stern face. Thandi asks, "Who handed you this child?" The room's hum fills the pause. A Duke swallows, but her lips stay sealed. Before Thandi can press further, her radio bursts alive. "Colonel, coroner confirms time of death approximately 30 minutes ago. Wristband traces to Golden Cradle Clinic. Registration under alias. No next of kin on file." Thandi's jaw tightens. She looks at the baby, then back to a Duke. This just got bigger. From the corridor, a shout echoes, "Media wants a statement!" Bankol's neon shoes flash outside the door window, pacing. Thandi signals the sergeant to stay put and exits. As she strides down the hall, the overhead lights flicker again, power dip number 2. In the control room, monitors fuzz. Technician taps screens. All storage drives begin an automatic purge, files vanishing folder by folder. He lunges for the cancel key, but the option grays out. He yells into the hallway, "We're losing footage!" His voice catches the attention of a passing officer who sprints for Thandi. She turns just as the alarm panel blares. Data loss, possible sabotage. The corridor buzz grows louder than the station outside. Thandi presses her radio. "Lock every terminal, nobody leaves." Holding room 3 stays quiet except for the baby's soft hiccups. A Duke shifts on the metal bench, cuff chain rattling against rail. The camera on Bankol's phone refocuses as he lifts it again. His viewers watch the officers sprinting past and flood the chat with one demand: show us what's happening now. The corridor alarms cut off as power stabilizes. Lieutenant Colonel Thandi hustles back into holding room 3. She locks the door, drops into the metal chair opposite a Duke, and slides over a recorder. "Start with your name." A Duke Falomo. "Who gave you the infant?" A Duke bites her lip, fingers hovering over the blanket. "A woman on bench C12. She collapsed. I tried to get help." "Why no call to emergency?" "I shouted. People kept walking." Thandi eyes the mug of improvised formula, half empty. "Timeline?" "Roughly 30 minutes before I was grabbed." Thandi leans out, signals the sergeant to fetch a timestamp list. Aduk adjusts the baby's head, sleeve bunching at the tiny wrist. Across the station, Kevway boots a second laptop, tethering to a fresh data SIM. Her first connection still throttles. She opens file transfers from the backup server before more folders disappear. A pop-up reports 20% progress, too slow. Rail Security Chief Okoro storms into the room. "Colonel, Minister on line 1. Thandi waves him off. Okoro hesitates but steps away to patch the call. Inside holding, Aduk's cuffs clink. "Am I charged?" "Detained for questioning," Thandi replies. "Help me verify your story and you walk out." Aduk nods once. In the control center, Bankole angles his phone just inside the doorway, catching monitors mid-purge. Technician yells, "Sir, camera down, classified area." Bankole backs off but streams anyway, face filling the frame. "Viewers, someone's wiping data. This is no random glitch." Comments explode. Some urge him to keep rolling, others accuse him of staging drama. Thandi exits holding, finds Okoro with handset stretched out. Minister Amati insists. She takes the phone. "Colonel Ndlovu speaking." Amati's voice smooth, low. "Contain all footage. Tourism board meets tomorrow, no headlines tonight." "Understood," Thandi answers, keeping tone neutral. She clicks the call off before more instructions land. Okoro raises an eyebrow. Thandi murmurs, "Chain of command." Downstairs, paramedics load the deceased woman onto a gurney. A coroner's aide presses a thumb scanner against her hand. No print found. Attempt 2, same result. Aide records erased ridge patterns on the log. Kevway downloads a blurred still from the backup camera. She zooms on a paper wristband. Letters read GCC02. She cross-checks on her tablet, finds a shuttered clinic named Golden Cradle 20 kilometers west. She hits record. Folks, clinic record shows licensing suspended last year. Upload stalls at 49%. She curses, unplugs, and jogs toward the exit stairs, hoping for a better signal near open air. Bankole stops her midway. "Got something?" "Maybe," she pants. "Bandwidth is mud." He flicks on his phone hotspot, top-tier plan. "Use mine." Kevway hesitates, then nods. She sends clip to her cloud. Progress bar climbs fast. In holding, newborn fusses. Aduk pats gently, but formula's gone. She asks the sergeant, "Could I get boiled water? Powder stuck at bottom." Sergeant shrugs. Station cafeteria closed after lunch. He radios supply again. No answer. Thandi re-enters with a printed timeline. "Your window places you with the woman for 7 minutes before officers spotted you." "I looked for help, not cameras." Thandi sets a body cam on the table. "Walk me through." She hits record. Aduk inhales. "I was heading to an interview at Novo Bank. Bench C12, she sat hunched, baby sliding. I touched her shoulder, she slumped onto me. She whispered, 'Anywhere but here.' Then her eyes rolled back." "Exact words?" "Yes." "Did you check pulse?" "2 fingers, nothing. People stared, but no one stopped. I lifted the baby, called for help. Nobody came." The baby squirms. Aduk rocks, chain clacking. Thandi watches the motion, taps stop on the recorder. "I'll verify," she says and steps out. At command post, Thandi meets the tech. "Show me the missing footage." He plays the corrupted file, colored bars, then static. Primary feed lost. Backup shows only after collapse. Physical drive? "Gone from rack, ma'am. Bay door forced." Thandi's jaw clenches. "Pull handhelds. Officers were patrolling." Kevway's clip finally uploads. She posts with caption, "Why does a suspended clinic tag a dead mother?" She tags Bankole. He retweets to millions. Notifications roar. Within minutes, Dummer Golden Cradle trends number 2 nationwide. Amati's advisor spots the spike on her dashboard, dials him. He scowls, thumbs out a terse message, "Shut the rogue feeds." Inside server room, a suited technician inserts a flash key. Monitors flood with code. Drives begin clean reboot, stalling further shutdown commands. Tech whispers into earpiece. Purge stopped. Someone froze root access. Voice on other side curses. Thandi receives an alert from IT, unknown remote freeze. She sprints towards server corridor. An aide blocks her path, waving ministry badge. Colonel, directive. Let our people stabilize first. She sidesteps him. After evidence integrity, not before. She keys in her override. Door slides open. Inside, she sees the suited technician trying to pry the flash key free. She barks, hands off. He steps back, palms up. She pockets the key, orders 2 officers to escort the man to interview room. A Duke still waits in holding. The baby drifts to sleep, head bobbing. Door opens. A nurse in green scrubs arrives with proper bottle and blanket. She checks the child, notes high but steady heartbeat. Nurse asks, "Mother's name?" A Duke shakes head. Nurse scribbles, "Unknown." Out on the concourse, rail operations resume partial service. Announcement echoes overhead, but words garble through failing speakers. Passengers grumble, shuffle to new platforms. Bankole films the shuffle. A commuter throws shade. Stop capitalizing on tragedy. Bankole lowers camera, tension flaring. He pockets phone, offers to help an elderly woman carry luggage. She declines. He exhales, conflicted. Kevway's notifications ping like popcorn. She scrolls comments, crowdsourcing addresses for Golden Cradle. One follower posts an archive of clinic's board directors, 3 shell companies linked to a name, Z. Amadi. She whistles, screenshots fast. She rings Thandi. Call drops after first ring. Network overloaded. She texts instead, "Golden Cradle, Amadi, urgent." Message spins unsent. She sees Bankole seated on a bench, head down. She strides over. Minister's fingerprints all over this clinic. "Proof?" he asks. Corporate registry pulls, needs secure transfer. He nods. "My encrypted drive's in the car. Come." They head to South Exit. Protesters chant near turnstiles fueled by fresh rumors. Security lines clog. Loudspeakers fail again. Thandi reviews the flash key in evidence bag. She boots a sterile laptop, mounts the drive. A folder named GCC Fin pops up, password locked. She tries default forensics keys. Denied. She radios IT. Need brood on encrypted stick priority. Delay estimated 3 hours. Thandi rubs brow, grabs her notebook, writes timestamp. In holding, a Duke's phone buzzes in property box. Sergeant checks screen, 20 missed calls from Novobank HR. He frowns, logs the detail, and steps out. He passes Thandi. Her interview is imploding her alibi. No show, no job. Keep the log. Outside South Exit, Bankole's bodyguard pushes through protesters. Someone shouts, "Baby traffickers!" Plastic bottle sales, hits pavement, splashes soda across Bankole's linen jacket. He flinches but keeps moving. Kevway films reflexively, then pockets camera, lending a shoulder to an elderly man jostled by the surge. Crowd heat slows progress. Encrypted drive still 20 meters away. In the morgue truck, coroner starts intake. Power flickers. He switches to battery lamp to continue. Wristband camera photo uploads to central database, returns no patient file. He labels toe tag Jane Doe GCC02. Thandi's phone pings. Lab estimates DNA swab pickup in 2 hours, but sample kit stuck at courier hub due to road closure from same protest. She exhales hard. Back in holding, the baby coughs, spits formula onto a Duke's sleeve. She wipes gently, humming off key, unaware of screens across the country replaying her arrest. On social media, 2 hashtags compete. Baby thief and bench hero. Sentiment swings with every new clip. In the server room, the technician detained earlier refuses to speak. Interrogating officer notes micro earpiece battery dead, confiscated. Chain of command question looms. Thandi heads for a Duke once more. She pauses at hallway window, sees street protests swelling, police lines forming. Sirens fade in from distance. She opens holding door. A Duke looks up. Thandi sets a fresh bottle on the table. We will test your prints against the benchwoman's. If they match as caregiver, you're closer to release. If not, new problems. A Duke nods, offers hands without argument. Thandi swabs quickly, seals sample, labels 1447. Radio crackles. Kernel, server lock traced to external IP, Golden Cradle headquarters. Thandi's eyes narrow. She pockets radio, turns to a Duke. Whoever wiped that footage just declared this a war. Sirens outside pitch higher. A loudspeaker booms dispersal orders. The building vibrates as chanting crowds slam barricades. Thandi steps into the hallway. She issues a single command to the nearest officer. Elevate security level. Nobody gets in or out without my say. The officer jogs off. Fluorescent lights flicker once more, then steady. The baby in a Duke's arms lets out a soft, exhausted sigh, unaware of the storm tightening around the station. Sirens fade as armored vans seal the station exits. Inside, Kevway and Bankol reach the parking lot. His driver lowers the Prado window a crack, eyeing the crowd. Encrypted drive, backseat pocket, Bankol says. He opens the door. Protesters shove forward. Kevway grabs the slim silver unit, pockets it, slams the door. A bottle whistles past, shatters on asphalt. Glass sprays. Security ushers them back toward the building. The car can't move. They retreat through a staff entrance. A guard checks ID but pauses at the drive in Kevway's hand. She flashes press badge. Guard waves them through, logs entry on a clipboard that smears under drizzle. On level 2, Thandi's forensics desk hums. An IT analyst wires the flash key from earlier to a brute force box. Screen shows 2% progress, estimated hours. Thandi studies the feed of Gate B where crowds surge. She notes shield lines thinning. Rotate fresh officers now, she orders. Radio crackles affirmative but manpower thin. Kevway arrives with the silver drive. Financials tied to the clinic. Thandi eyes Bankol. Chain of custody? Straight from his trunk, Kevway answers. Thandi signs an evidence tag, slots the drive into a quarantined laptop. File tree opens, folders labeled GCC Pay 21, Boardman, and a spreadsheet named Rainmaker. A progress bar loads, suddenly screen goes black, power trip. UPS kicks in, but laptop stalls. Analyst curses, reboots, drive now unreadable, requesting format. Bankol steps back, hands raised. It worked 5 minutes ago. Thandi turns to Kevway. Any copy? Cloud upload stuck at 97%, she says. Signal died with the blackout. Thandi points to a far desk. Sit, try again. She steps into hallway. Her phone buzzes, unknown number. She answers, a calm male voice. Release a Duke, drop the drive, crisis ends. Line cuts, no trace. Thandi logs the call, flags telecom for trace. She returns to holding room. A Duke cradles the sleeping infant. The nurse checks temperature, stable. A man in navy suit waits outside holding briefcase in hand. He introduces himself as Mr. Lotana, legal counsel from Ministry Support Unit. He requests private talk with a Duke. Thandi declines. He insists. She signals 2 officers, escorts him into interview room instead. Lotana opens briefcase, bundles of cash, fresh notes. Help us correct this narrative. He slides a passport and a one-way ticket to Libreville across the table. A Duke stares at the baby, then at the door. She does not move. Sergeant's pen scratches a log. Thandi folds arms. Offer noted. Lotana shrugs, snaps briefcase shut, asks for an escort out. Thandi nods. Hall camera records every step. Upstairs, Kevway's upload crawls. She pounds keys, toggles hotspots. Nothing. She tries sending a single file. Error, server refused connection. She curses, pulls power bank, heads for rooftop where reception is cleaner. Bankol trails, rain spits. They reach the maintenance ladder, climb. On the roof, city clouds hang heavy. Signal bars jump to full. Kevway resumes upload. 30 seconds later, progress hits 100. She grins, checks link, file corrupted, 0 bytes. Someone's filtering traffic, she mutters. Bankole dials his CTO. No ring, network jammed. Back inside, Amati meets crisis staff in ministry war room. He slams palm on table. Erase every tie. Order came this morning, so finish it tonight. An aide whispers about trending hashtags. Amati shoves tablet away. Bots will drown them by dusk. Courier hub south of town finally releases DNA swab kit after protesters clear road. Motorcycle courier weaves through traffic. Rain-slick streets, tires skid but regain track. Time of arrival to station, 30 minutes. Thandi receives update. She dispatches a motor unit to escort the courier last mile. Radio static answers, unit stuck directing crowd control. Courier rides solo. Server room tech shouts. Flash key brute force spikes, unlocking. Text scrolls reveals payments from Coastal Trade Endowment to Golden Cradle. Beneficiary, Zikora Amati. Thandi prints summary, hands copy to evidence clerk, locks original in safe. She tells IT, mirror entire drive now. They start transfer. Progress bar climbs to 50, then stalls. A red warning, temperature critical. External fan failed. Tech opens casing, dust blankets vent. He slaps it, fan stutters back. Transfer resume slow. On the roof, Kevway live streams via satellite phone borrowed from Bankole's driver. Connection stable. She reports the bribe attempt, flashes blurry screenshot of cash pile. Chat erupts, donations spike. Someone posts minister's vehicle plate at Golden Cradle Complex earlier that week. Kevway bookmarks link. Downstairs, Lotana exits side gate. Protest lines thin as rain grows steady. He waves a black umbrella, slips into a sedan. Camera on adjacent building records the exchange. A Duke sits alone, baby awake, fists waving. Nurse returns with fresh diapers, hands a Duke a packet. She struggles with cuff chain. Nurse sighs, unlocks one wrist temporarily to help. Thandi checks corridor monitor. She notes open cuff but trusts nurse. She moves to evidence room. In evidence, second tech decrypts the silver drive using cold boot method. They bypass auto wipe, recovering half the Rainmaker sheet. Names of 7 surrogate mothers listed with payouts. Footnote, disposal fund. Thandi snaps photos, alarm beeps, courier at front checkpoint. Officers pat him down, scan kit barcode, clear. As courier crosses foyer, power flickers again, lights out for 10 seconds. In darkness, a figure bumps courier, kit slips, smashes floor, tubes rolling. Lights return. Courier kneels, gathers fragments, samples ruined. Thandi arrives, sees shards. She orders crime scene photos, then paces, jaw clenched. Forensics officer notes backup swab from deceased remains at morgue. Thandi arranges new pickup. Morgue fridge temp alerts low battery. She dispatches engineering. Kevway ends rooftop stream. Rain thickens. She descends ladder, slips, scrapes forearm. She laughs it off, keeps moving. Bankole's phone pings. Internal memo from his board warning sponsorship pull if coverage continues. He pockets phone, silent. In interview room, Thandi returns to a Duke. Courier sabotaged. We'll fetch new samples. A Duke nods weary. Thandi uncuffs her free wrist after paperwork. Stay here, cooperate, you're safer inside. A Duke whispers. Thanks, burps the baby. Server room transfer hits 99%. Fan dies again. Tech slams cover. File completes. He shouts success. Thandi radios storage to move backup off-site. Van will leave in 15 minutes. Outside, Lotana's sedan tails a garbage truck toward River Bridge. Sedan stops, trunk pops, briefcase tossed into the water, bills scattering down current. Media feeds buzz. Golden Cradle rises to number 1. Minister's press secretary issues statement, no comment on unverified rumors. Roof rain turns to downpour. Drainage overflows, water cascades down service stairs, floods level 1 corridor. IT closet at that level houses junction box for offsite transfer line. Electrician radios, water near box, risk short. Thandi orders sandbags, but time short. Kevway and Bangkol arrive at corridor, ankle-deep water. Junction sparks. Transfer van waits outside loading bay. Cable connections still live. A fuse pops. Junction box dies. Offsite transfer freezes at 4%. Techs shout. Bangkol pulls phone, record sparks. He yells, "Anyone know manual spool?" No answer. Kevway spots an old optical disc writer on shelf above waterline. She drags chair, grabs it, hands to Tech. Burn the files, walk them out. Writer needs power. Generator backup covering lights only. Tech rummages cable to live socket on higher panel. Connection works, disc spins. Disc write time 5 minutes. Water rises to calves. Thandi arrives with 2 officers. They form bucket line, bailing water outside. Progress hits 60. Siren outside signals evacuation order for lower level. Officers hesitate. Thandi points. Hold the line till burn finishes. They stay. Burn completes. Tech seals disc in anti-static bag, hands to Thandi. She tucks it in vest pocket, leads team upstairs. Water laps at knees as they exit. Above, station PA crackles. Evacuation of lower floors announced. Commuters rush stairs. Mixing with protesters herded inside for shelter from rain. Confusion swells. Thandi scans crowd. She spots Lotana's navy suit at far corner talking into phone. He sees her, bolts toward emergency exit. She shouts, "Officers give chase." Stairwell door slams. Lotana disappears down dark steps. Thandi radios. Suspect fleeing west stairwell, level -1. Signal static. Concrete muffles radio. She curses, follows with 2 officers. Kevway turns to Bangkol. He's running with more cash, maybe documents. Bangkol hesitates, glances at soaked jacket, then sprints after them. Kevway hits record and joins. Stairwell lights flicker, wet steps slick. Lotana skid turns at landing. Officers close gap. He reaches a service door, shoulders it open to an underground loading bay. Generators hum. A black van idles. Lotana dives in passenger seat. Door slams, driver gun's engine. Thandi bursts through, raises hand. "Stop!" Van lurches forward. Bangkol slides, nearly falls, but points camera. Kevway edges left, capturing plates. Engine roars, van speeds toward half-closed gate. Metal scrapes, sparks. Van squeezes through, tail lights vanish into storm. Thandi notes plate digits, radios roadblocks, static again. She exhales, water dripping from cap brim. Officers regroup. Behind them, alarms shift pitch. A new alert scrolls across central monitors. Golden Cradle main server offline. External connection lost. Thandi stares at the message. Evidence trail is collapsing faster than backups can form. She turns to Kevway and Bangkol. "We hold what we have, or this dies." The 3 stand amid pooling water and failing lights as thunder cracks overhead and the station rattles under the weight of the night. Floodlights snap on above Dakala Central's west wing. Generators strain, coughing smoke into the rain. Thandi guides Kevway and Bangkol toward an upper conference room. She wants dry space and stable Wi-Fi. Inside, ceiling tiles drip but power holds. Technicians rig a hotspot using a dish wedged against the window. Signal crawls yet stays alive. Kevway plugs the optical disc into a secure laptop. The spreadsheet opens. Rows list surrogate names, payment amounts, status codes. 5 marked released, 2 pending disposal. Each line shows a transfer reference to Coastal Trade Endowment. Bangkol films the screen, voice low. "We stream when you say go." Thandi shakes her head. "Not yet. Parliament sits at 10. I want this playing live on their feed, not buried online." Clock shows 07:12. Dawn glow seeps through cloud breaks. Outside, protesters drift home for dry clothes. Police shift change thins barricades. Momentum risks dying. Kevway sips stale coffee, reloads social metrics. Hashtag sliding. She slams cup down. We need a jolt or the story fades. On level 1, engineering patches cables. Network nodes reboot. The backup DNA courier arrives from morgue, escorted by 2 officers on dirt bikes. They hand Thandi a cooler marked priority bio. No incidents. She orders direct dash to State Lab. Van already idling. Driver verifies seal, signs chain of custody form. Van pulls away, tires splashing. Road out of station meets early traffic. A tractor trailer jackknifes 2 blocks ahead, blocking all lanes. Rumor says driver dozed off. Van stuck. Courier calls in. Thandi's jaw muscles twitch. She deploys a police motorcycle. Officer weaves through stalled cars, collects the cooler, zooms along service alleys. 15 minutes shaved. At Ministry Complex downtown, Amati straightens tie before entering committee chamber. He greets chairperson with practiced smile, no hint of overnight chaos. Staff whispers about flooded station, but agenda reads, Infrastructure Bond Review. Committee session streams to Public Channel 4, view count modest. Thandi plans to hijack that feed. She calls broadcast control, cites emergency order code Delta 9. Manager hesitates, aware minister outranks colonel on paper. Thandi threatens seizure of transmitter under public safety statute. Manager relents. Kevway runs final checks. Bankol's mic pops. He replaces battery. They stand against blank wall. A single light panel illuminates faces. Timer hits 09:58. Broadcast flips. Committee members appear on split screen with Thandi's conference room. Chair pounds gavel, confused. Feed director locks the view, override engaged. Thandi steps forward. Public evidence update on Dakala infant case. She summarizes spreadsheet in 50 words, then displays payment trail. Screen shows Amati's name beside board signatures. In chamber, Amati's pen freezes mid-note. Microphones pick rustle of papers. Chair orders recess. Thandi keeps talking over feed. Bankol signals Kevway. She publishes high-resolution doc dump to mirrored servers across 3 continents. Links explode on social media. Hashtags rebound to trending top. Corporate spam bots lag behind. Amati exits chamber to clamor of reporters. He calls Lotana. No pickup. He dials server admin, also deadline. Sweat beads along hairline. He slips into private elevator, descends to garage. Driver says police roadblocks up ahead. Amati barks, airport back route. Elevator surveillance auto uploads to security cloud. Kevway's followers scrape footage within minutes. Tag it, Jew or minister on the run. Police headquarters receives warrant request from state prosecutor. Judge on morning docket signs electronic warrant. Thandi gets notification ping. She exhales once, then orders arrest team formed. Lab phone rings at 11:04. DNA analysis complete. Technician gives result. Infant unrelated to deceased benchwoman. Technician adds second hit. Infant matches sample from missing surrogate record GCC 15. Thandi asks for written confirmation. Printer jams. Tech restarts spool. Paper feeds crooked, ink smears barcodes. He snaps photo of the screen and emails instead. Attachment arrives. Kevway views, mouth parts slightly. Bankol records her reading the keyline aloud. 0% match. This baby was laundered. Thandi forwards document to prosecutor, pushes for trafficking charge upgrades. She also copies child welfare. Bureaucracy insists on formal report first. Delay minimum 2 hours. Crowd outside ministry grows again, energized by feed. Chant. Where are the mothers? Riot police assemble. Tension thickens. Inside station nursery nook, a Duke listens to portable radio. Static, then anchor announces DNA non-match. Her grip on blanket tightens. Nurse notes pulse quickened, adds it to chart. Lotana's black van appears on tollway camera heading west. Plate flagged. Highway patrol gives chase. Van swerves into construction detour, disappears under flyover. Patrol loses visual. At committee building, plainclothes detectives move in. Amati's convoy stuck at basement barricade, locked by remote. Detectives knock on tinted window. Driver inches back, slams into patrol sedan, crumpling bumper. Detectives draw weapons. Standoff 30 seconds. Amati exits car, hands raised. Thandi watches arrest via live drone shot streamed by News Chopper. She allows herself a curt nod. Bankhole flips camera to selfie. Viewers, minister in custody. Story's far from over, though. Stay tuned. His boardroom notification pings again. Sponsorship terminated effective immediately. He winces but keeps stream active. Kevway pulls Thandi aside. Charges stick only if backups survive. Flooded junction still dead. Thandi thinks fast. She authorizes physical courier of disc to courthouse. Officer pockets it, leaves on unmarked bike. Rain has eased. Bike zips through midday gridlock, but rear tire hits pothole, flattens near roundabout. Officer flags Kiki, driver reluctant. Sees police ID, agrees. They weave through traffic at crawl. At station, generator fuel gauge blinks low. Maintenance miscalculated consumption after overnight surge. Spare drums delayed on inundated road. Countdown estimate 40 minutes to blackout. IT scrambles to sync remaining evidence to cloud before power drop. Progress sluggish. Servers throttle to conserve. Bankhole sits, wiping rain from lens. He tells audience his platform fined for misinformation. He pledges to fund legal aid for surrogates. Comments split, some cheer, others accuse damage control. Kevway checks analytics, 3 million watching, Gaperti. She decides to release uncut negotiation footage with Lotana. She schedules drop for 5 minutes later. Thandi reviews witness list. She needs a Duke on record in front of magistrate before defense spins narrative. She radios holding to prep transfer. Transport van arrives. As a Duke steps in, baby starts coughing, formula up the nose. Nurse orders brief stop at clinic en route. Van detours to rail medical unit. Small delay but necessary. Generator sputters, lights blink. Countdown 15 minutes. At courthouse, officer with disc finally arrives, limping on flat tire. Clerk stamps intake. Disc placed in evidence vault independent of station grid. Thandi's shoulders ease. In ministry cell, Amati uses single phone call to reach finance ally. Ally's voice cold. Banks already freezing accounts to dodge scandal. Line clicks dead. Media blast Lotana's flight footage from tollway cams. Public fury swells. Hashtag morphs to Dodder all hands dirty. Generator chokes, dies. Station drops to battery LEDs. It shouts final sync at 83%. Thandi orders orderly shutdown to preserve what remains. Portable lights guide evacuation of non-essential staff. Thandi keeps core team. She looks at Kevway and Bankhole. We push court filing now. Kevway checks watch. Upload of Lotana clip finishes in 90 seconds, battery willing. Outside, distant booms signal tear gas at ministry rally. Wind shifts, chemical haze drifts toward station. Officers seal vents, but some gas seeps in. People cough. Thandi dons mask, tosses extras around. She escorts remaining staff to upper-level sealed corridor. Her radio crackles faint under interference. Prosecutor voice comes through. Judge wants arraignment within the hour. Bring your evidence, witnesses, baby. Thandi stares down dark stairwell. Generator silence echoes. She answers, on our way. Battery lights flicker, threatening complete darkness. Kevway slings camera over shoulder, swaps fresh memory card. Bankhole pockets spare lens cloth, face set. A Duke's van returns from clinic, baby calmer, lungs clear. Driver radios ready. Van pulls to front. Tear gas cloud low but dispersing. Thandi leads convoy out. Officers flank vehicles. Sirens cut through tense air. Court lies 9 kilometers away. Time to deadline, 55 minutes. Convoy speeds down Ring Road, sirens strobing blue across early traffic. Thandi rides shotgun in the lead cruiser, disc evidence clutched under vest. Motorcycles flank a Duke's van. Rain has stopped, but streets steam, creating hazy patches that blur visibility. A stalled tanker blocks 2 lanes ahead. Officers wave drivers onto pedestrian walkway. Tires thump over curb, jolt passengers. The baby wakes, fusses. Nurse rocks gently while a Duke steadies the bottle with cuffed wrist. Kevway's camera rolls from back seat. She narrates for viewers, voice clipped. Courthouse deadline in 30 minutes, traffic nightmare, but we're moving. Bankole streams beside her, holding phone low to stay out of officers' line of sight. Board notifications still ping in pocket. He ignores them. At courthouse gate, demonstrators press against barricades. Some cheer a Duke's van, others hurl accusations about baby farms. Riot police funnel vehicles through a narrow gap. Plastic shields clack as crowd pushes forward. Entrance metal detector squeals, overloaded by 4 officers crossing together. Guard reset system, slowing entry by precious minutes. Thandy snaps. Single file. Team obeys. Flow resumes. Inside marble lobby, power flickers. Backup generator kicks in with a growl. Court clerks shout docket numbers through echoing hall. Thandy hands disk to clerk, obtains stamped receipt. Clock reads 12:44. Arraignment cutoff 13 nay. Amadi, cuffed but in fresh suit, emerges from holding cell escorted by detectives. Flashbulbs pop. He keeps eyes forward, lips pinched. Proceedings move to courtroom 2. Public gallery jammed, phones raised despite posted ban. Bailiff confiscates a dozen but misses more. Judge Cure steps up, robe still damp at him from rush. She calls case number, reviews electronic file. Network lag delays attachments. Court IT refreshes, thumb drive fallback inserted. Documents load. Prosecutor summarizes, trafficking, obstruction, evidence tamper. Thandy submits disk and printed ledger. Clerk passes copies to defense. Defense lawyer pleads for extension, claims flood damaged their discovery access. Judge grants 10 minutes recess only. Clock keeps ticking. A Duke sits behind prosecution table, baby in portable carrier. Child welfare officer present, clipboard ready. Judge eyes the infant, orders immediate pediatric assessment post-hearing. Kevway streams audio outside hallway door because video barred inside. Buffer stutters, building walls thick. She hooks device to courtroom Wi-Fi, password expired. An intern whispers new code, stream stabilizes. Bankole drafts public apology while standing near vending machine. Thumbs hover. He hits post, then forwards link to charity contact. Pledge of $10 million to Sade Trust. Recess ends. Judge reconvenes. DNA report entered. Clerk reads findings. Murmurs ripple through gallery. Defense objects citing compromised chain due to courier mishap. Prosecutor counters with morgue swab logs and secure transport affidavit. Judge overrules objection. Prosecutor plays Kevway's video of Lotana's bribe. Audio clear. Suitcase latch, cash rustle. Help us correct this narrative. Defense tries relevance challenge. Judge admits as consciousness of guilt evidence. Amadi shifts in chair, cleans spectacles, a tell noted by many cameras. Judge asks Colonel about risk of witness intimidation. Thandy lists sabotage events, server purge, courier assault, junction flooding. She requests remand. Defense pushes for bail, cites ministerial duties. Judge sets bail, but at record amount. Confiscates passports, orders GPS anklet, daily check-in. Courtroom gasps. Child welfare officer states infant's biological relatives untraceable. A Duke petitions for temporary guardianship. Prosecutor supports, defense silent. Judge grants pending formal review, instructs counseling sessions and monthly home visits. Gavel bangs. Court adjourned 13:12. Spectators erupt with mixed cheers and boos. Bailiffs guide parties out opposite doors. Corridor jam. Journalists swarm Amadi for comment. He scowls, utters single line, truth will surface. Detectives lead him to holding for anklet fitting. A Duke exits side hall, baby against chest. Reporters pivot, flash after flash. She shields child's face with folder, whispers, careful small eyes. Kevway records but stays arm's length, asking only, "Any message to the mother who isn't here?" Aduk pauses. "I kept my promise." Exterior steps slick from earlier rain. Police form tunnel toward waiting taxis. Protest chants float from plaza. Some supporters hand Aduk a pack of diapers, others toss accusations at minister's convoy. GPS anklet technician fumbles with signal calibrator, battery compartment jammed. Delay keeps Amadi on courthouse grounds longer, cameras rolling. Finally clicks in place. He walks to armored SUV. Crowd jeers. Inside taxi, Aduk buckles carrier beside her. Nurse sits up front, filling discharge forms. Driver starts meter. Engine sputters, low fuel. He flags colleague, mother and child transfer vehicles. Minor hassle, but no crisis. Bankole stands at foot of steps live streaming wrap-up. Sponsor loss feed scrolls under his face, but viewer count climbs. He announces donation receipt. Rival influencers join chat, calling him opportunist. He shrugs, end stream. Thandi meets prosecutor in side office. They draft preservation order for all Golden Cradle assets. Fax machine jams first 2 tries. Third sheet feeds, confirmation prints. She then phones Treasury to freeze coastal trade endowment accounts. Operator routes call through 3 departments. Approval pending signature but momentum positive. Storm clouds break, sun shafts across plaza. Kevway pockets camera, stretches sore arm. She receives tip text. Golden Cradle Fieldhouse in Abala province abandoned, records inside. She grins, plans next trip. Court security starts clearing area. Media trucks pack cords, riot police peel away, situation calm. Aduk's taxi merges into midday traffic. Baby falls asleep against seatbelt. City horns distant, rhythm steady. Driver glances mirror, asks destination. Aduk answers softly, "Home, please, 1 stop at pharmacy." He nods, turns onto side street lined with jacaranda shedding purple petals across wet asphalt. Back at station, generators repaired, power restored. IT team finalizes cloud sync, 100% successful. Technician pumps fist. In ministry office, acting transport head drafts statement on ethics overhaul. Email subject, urgent reassurance. Lotana's van found empty in warehouse, cash traces on floor. Fingerprint kit reveals partial prints matching his file. Warrant issued. Bankole sits alone on courthouse bench, sister's memorial bracelet in hand. He records a short clip without flashy graphics. Clicks didn't save anyone today. Courage did. He uploads quietly. News bulletins lead evening broadcast with montage. Amadi led into vehicle, spreadsheet screenshots, Aduk cradling infant. Anchor announces parliamentary inquiry into surrogate exploitation. Taxi pulls to curb outside Aduk's flat. She pays fare with crumpled notes, hefts carrier, thanks driver. Upstairs corridor dim, bulb flickers but holds. She unlocks door, steps into tidy room smelling of paper from old reporting binders. She lays baby on thrifted cot, drapes knitted blanket left by neighbor, street noise muffled behind window pane. She sits on edge of narrow bed, shoes still on, hands resting on knees. Outside, city hum lowers with sunset. Neon signs buzz, traffic sighs. Aduk exhales, a long steady breath. The baby's tiny chest rises and falls, steady as the ticking clock on the wall. Sometimes the smallest cry rewrites the loudest lie.